Hey, everybody, it's Mike from The Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios and brought to you by our official sponsor, The Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson's The Missing, available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. She's backed by popular demand, the multi-talented actress, musician, director, and producer, and animal crusader from Rochester, Michigan. Of course, growing up on a 150-acre farm, we talked about that, and began her career at 5, acting on stage, attended the New York University Chess School of Arts, and also studied under Lee Strasberg Institute Experimental Theater Program, moved to LA, and of course we had her on last time, talked about Dorothy Dandridge. She worked with Halle Berry, Saw 6, and also Playing for Keeps, Gerard Butler, and also music-wise, we talked about Aura Drone's weapon of choice, and now she's got a lot of weapons by choice, and also she's got plenty on the arsenal. And what are they? We'll get some updates live, ladies and gentlemen, from the Plus Studios somewhere in the United States. Not on strike. This is not AI. The very multi-talented actress, musician, director, producer, and animal crusader from Rochester, Michigan, the multi-talented Jon Mack. Jon, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us once again.
Hello. Thank you for having me back. It's great to be here again.
Well, it's great to have you on board as well, too. So you continue to be a multi-talented actress, musician, director, producer, animal crusader, and you also give a great story on how you're on the farm, your love for animals and everything. Began your career of 5 acting. You later expanded to music with Aura Drone, with Weapon of Choice. We talked about that, and I think you also got some updates as well, too, involving mermaids. You got a little bit of wars going on, and of course, you got little Bravo in Rio and everything else. And so forgetting all that, just give a quick update on, what you're doing, and maybe a bit about, once again, very quick, on how you got started.
Oh, well, okay. I guess, I'll start with, it's been, yeah, I don't remember last time I talked to you. Yes. A lot has been transpiring. So that's very good. I've been busy. It's been a busy year so far. Last year was busy as well, but, gosh, where do I start? I have some things coming out. I have some things in post-production, and I'm working on just different projects right now, and some work with animals as well. So I don't know where to begin. Here.
And I think we had Jon last. We talked about the Aura Drone, the weapon of choice, and how's that been coming ever since we talked last? That was a big one for you.
Yes, that was great. I have been, it's interesting these last since we spoke a few years since the pandemic. I've been focused a lot on filmmaking, so I've been doing a little music here and there, more for scoring. But I have some songs in the works that I'm getting back to as far as the Aura Drone stuff very soon, probably in the fall. But right now I am currently finishing a short film that I directed at the beginning of the year, and so that's got to do with the mermaids and the manatees type of thing. That's called Love Song for a Mermaid. And we're going to be giving it out to the festivals and putting it out there in that way. So that was kind of a labor of love, but it's with some really talented and amazing people. So that's been really fun. So I've kind of been cultivating that the beginning of the year. Let's see, I'm trying to think of last year, the Taken from Rio Bravo, we shot that. That's coming out I think in January. So that's coming right around the corner. Yes. Which is really fun. It's a Western. It's a sequel to Gunfight at Rio Bravo. And it's with Alexander Nevsky and Matthias Hughes and Cynthia Rothrock. So we've got an interesting cast. And Matthias and I did a film after that together this year, which is sci-fi, Andromeda Wars, which is really fun. Very, very excited with Chuck Liddell, Nick Turturro, and yeah, we get to play aliens. So I went from Western to aliens. It's like, okay, it's great.
No AI involved with this one here. So
no AI involved at all. No, this is all. Yeah, I think pretty much everything is practical effects. I mean, obviously there'll be some posts, but I think it's going to be a fun one. I mean, it's got a video game vibe, which I know right now is very popular, but it's also got kind of a Battlestar Galactica, Star Trek vibe too. So
I remember Battlestar Galactica. That's right. Watch it Sunday nights, ABC, and going against Star Wars, and quite entertaining too, believe it or not. So
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I'm a big sci-fi lover. I adore sci-fi. And I think we talked about sci-fi before, but it's one of my favorite genres. And so to work on sci-fi films for me is always like such an honor and a gift. And yeah, so that's something we shot this year, Matthias and I, after doing Taken from Rio Bravo. And so I have that. And then, I have another film that we just shot in May, which is a remake of a very popular, infamous horror film. I can't quite say the title yet, but it's has to do with flesh eaters.
Flesh
So
eaters. Oh my
flesh eaters,
goodness.
yes. I'm sure everybody will recognize it right away. But yeah, we have a very cool updated version of that film. So I'm very excited about that because that one of I had a lot of involvement with. So we're excited because we're working with some great people now in the post, seeing people who do Stranger Things and whatnot. So I think it's going to turn out really well. Yeah. So I'm excited because I'm getting, as a producer as well, not just like, okay, I was in it, but to me, it's really fun to see how it comes together and how it all, from a conception to an actual film. So we're in that process right now. So this year's been a little bit of shooting, but now I think, especially now, because everyone's on strike, of course, we're going to do a lot of post and just finish up what we started. And hopefully by next year, we'll have a new contract for everyone where everyone's happy. So that's my wish. But in the meantime, we're finishing up what we did. Yeah, fingers crossed. Yeah, because I mean, it's, all the talent that I've talked to, I mean, we're all feeling it, of course. So I see now is the time to support indie more than ever. Work on indie things as much as you can. Like Mark Ruffalo said, you were talking about him earlier. Mark Ruffalo, he's so right. And I know he's an actor he cut his teeth in indie films as I did. So I think we underestimate indie films. I think we're so used to the big budget, the Marvel and the Disney now that we underestimate. I think the 90s was such a great time for indie films. The 70s, there were pockets of time where we didn't have as many blockbusters, where there were some incredible indie films. So I think now is the time to focus on indie films, honestly.
And also new genres came out as well too. And I think there was that one movie, which I'm trying to think, it was just used just strictly with what was like one of those handheld cameras, and there was like all the shaking back and forth, but it turned out to be a big hit. And I'm trying to remember, what was the name of that movie? Was it Witches?
Blair Witch
Project.
Yep.
That's the name of it. Yeah. And I think with the indie project, new genres come out. And that was one of them, which really inspired you. You can just take a camera. You can just you shoot a film with it. You can take your iPhone. You can take your Android. You can shoot scenes with it. You can edit and everything else. And of course, next thing you know, they'll be doing taking Zoom calls and start doing comedy or something like that. I can see things happening with indie films like that. They can make a parody of Zoom if they want to.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's funny, during the pandemic and lockdown, people had to get creative, in a way to keep, obviously all creative people, we need to stay moving forward. We need to stay creative. As you know, we need to keep going forward. So I think the pandemic, there was a lot of new ideas that came out of it. As difficult as it was, there was still some really interesting things that we kind of had to be creative to come up with. And I feel like now could be another version of that with what's going on with the strike. So I feel like we can find other ways to stay creative, and while everything gets ironed out, and hopefully, like we said, we don't know how long it'll last, but in the meantime, I think it's a good, you never know, something good could arise out of it. But yeah, that's where all the great films of the 70s and then the 90s were two beautiful periods of indie films, really, where people had to be creative. I mean, even some films like, Evil Dead, Sam Raimi was a college kid who shot that on little cheap camera, but it was the creativity that went into it. And look what it turned into, and now I get it. And I like that it was indie. I like that it was kind of rough. I mean, yeah.
And there was another one too along those lines, M. Night Charlemagne. He was the same thing, college student and experimenting with film, and then he's making films just like absolutely crazy. Took a little device, and then next thing you know, it just turned into big films as well. So I guess that's a message, just buy yourself a smartphone, Android, iPhone, whatever it is. You can shoot videos and hopefully come up with something big.
It really is. It really, it's not always the equipment, it's the idea. The idea is the important thing with anything, and yes, it's always nice to have resources to make the idea grand, but you know what, sometimes we work with what we've got, and nowadays, especially with technology, you can do so much, which is, like you said, like your phone. I mean, there have been whole films shot on phone.
Mhm.
So
And of
there's,
course, edited on phone, and you don't have a studio. You have to go to Hollywood. You can just like, go to a hotel room, go to a friend's place, go to a bar. You can just, do your editing right here. Or if you're having a Starbucks, or if you're see eating at Denny's or a late night dinner, you can just do your editing, while you're at your table. It's like anything can happen.
yes, yes. So I'm hoping that that's what this is going to become, is a way for people to break out of, one way of thinking, and keep moving forward. Because I mean, I love to see our industry flourish, and I know we have a lot of really talented people, and determined and creative people who can keep going. So we'll get through this, but I think it could also be an opportunity for some amazing new art to be formed and had. So
Mhm. And certainly too, and I think there's one update that we didn't cover was the dead rose, and you can tell us a bit about that. I
yeah.
meant to get to it. It's like, we forgot to talk about the dead rose.
No worries, no worries. Yeah, that we're supposed to be shooting that anytime now. I'm waiting to hear. I know that was that's also an independent, which will be really fun to do. I mean, I love the script. I read it. Jimmy, I don't know if you've met Jimmy or had him on before, but I like his determination, and he's one of those. He's always doing stuff and creating new projects. So I respect and appreciate that in a person. So I'm excited to work with their team, and I really, yeah, it's a cool project. I mean, it's a fun character. And but he said we're starting anytime now, so I'm waiting to get the call, but we should hopefully be shooting soon.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And of course, you got a lot of projects going on, but there's also one project that you're also passionate about. We'll talk about that. But first, listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at SonicWebStudios.com for all your needs. Looking for a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. It's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international award-winning author Mia Molson-Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you'll love Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is illusion and those you love be the first go missing. It's available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Molson-Zia has garnered great reviews. And Eve 11 endorsed by Howard celebrities, including Joanna Cassie, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today for Girls Missing by Mia Molson-Zia. It's available on Amazon. Also, check out the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com and over 40 podcast platforms. Heard in 100 countries: Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, also on Odyssey, Apple, and Anchor FM. And make sure you take us with you on any mobile device. Make sure you subscribe on LinkedIn, YouTube, BitChute, Rumble, and more. And for great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com. Check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. T-shirts, pop sockets, throw pillows, tote bags, hoodies. Makes great gifts 24/7. Go to Amazon.com. Check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. And for more great gift ideas like T-shirts, pop sockets, hoodies, phone cases, along with missing once and wrinkles, Amazon.com/Mia Molson-Zia. Check it out today and support the Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM, PayPal, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. And I did get to read the book Missing, by the way. And have you read the book by any chance?
I have. A few years ago I read it. Yeah,
What,
absolutely.
what'd you think?
I liked it very much. I've always supported Mia. Yeah, I think he's very good at what he does, and he's very determined. And I love that he is a Renaissance man, as they say.
Yes, yes,
True
one of the best in business as well too. And of course, you also have a passion too, not just doing TV, film, movies, and making music with Aura Drone and everything else. You also involved with directing a short film. Well, we got to that, and defending the endangered, basically raising awareness. Oh my gosh. I think this animal is really getting to me. It's the manatee, and tell us more about that.
Well, yes, basically, DTE, Defending the Endangered, my foundation was actually very much hand-to-hand involved with the production of the short film I mentioned earlier, I Love Song for a Mermaid. And we worked with Crystal Rivers, which is a beautiful manatee sanctuary down in Crystal River, Florida. And basically got to dive with the manatees and learn about them and try to help conserve them. So they're not endangered anymore, but they're threatened. And they were endangered a few years ago. They basically can get wiped out very easily with red tide, which is really sad, but a scary reality in Florida, where one of the few places in the planet that they happen to live. I think it's Florida and Thailand.
Wow.
And yeah, so there's such rare creatures, and there's obviously not that many of them, and they tend to get caught up in propellers sometimes of boats, because they tend to go in the shallows. So part of what threatened them was between the red tide and the propellers. They're very friendly creatures. So that's just unfortunate that, you know, these things happen. But we've been basically trying to raise awareness through the film and also through the foundation. And the idea is, once we get the film out there, the festivals, say we sell the film to anybody, all the proceeds will go to them. So yeah, it's a great thing. I mean, I love ocean life. I know how precious it is, and I know how what we do on this planet and the oceans affects everything in the ocean. So I've always been an avid, you know, swimmer, scuba diver, you know, snorkeler, and I've always been so enamored with it. So anytime I can help any of the creatures in the ocean, I'm happy to do it. So this is just one of the instances of us giving back and raising awareness at the same time.
And how about some of the animals that you also defend too, and other mammals and creatures as well? Who else?
Oh yeah. We've worked for so many different species. I mean, I never just put it to one. We did something a couple of years ago, since we spoke, for Kevin Richardson's foundation with the lions in South Africa.
Oh, I remember that. Yes, I was trying to think if it's like, you know, we talked about animals and what was that? And I'm glad you mentioned. How's that project coming after we spoke about the lions in South Africa?
It's great. I mean, the work he does is phenomenal. I mean, I'm just always happy to support him any way we can. So would love to do another event for him again, you know, now that we're getting our bearings. And I'm acquiring a property in Florida area. So that's part of what I'm doing now. My project is doing a sanctuary, a mini sanctuary to start. Not for lions necessarily, but I would love to.
Unless they swim, that's understandable, like sea lions and all that.
Absolutely. And I love lions, but I think we're going to start a little smaller first. But no, I would love to have events there. The idea is to also have events there and to raise money for different organizations and nonprofits. So once that gets situated, hopefully in this next year, we'll be able to start doing that more and more. But I mean, I love doing the events. I love just being involved in meeting the people that work for the different, you know, the different nonprofits, and just seeing the work they do through the years and the dedication it takes. And I'm always happy to help in any way, whether it's raising awareness, raising funds, whatever we can do. So it's a lifelong passion for me. I'm never going to stop doing that.
Mm-hmm. And what about some of the other projects that you're involved in? And also after that, what are some of the future projects you plan to getting involved in, saving animals, mammals, and wildlife and everything else?
Yes. I mean, we're always interested. We want to do something for the pangolins, which is the most trafficked animal in Africa, or in the world, actually. They're often overlooked. A lot of people still don't know what they are, but they are literally the most trafficked creature in the world. And that our plan, my partner and I, we're planning to do an event or some kind of a fundraiser for them. Not this one, we have to get this film out and everything, but after that would probably be the pangolins. Any creature that's in, you know, just an alert where they're really, you know, there's not many of them left. And unfortunately, there's a lot of creatures like that, you know, certain dolphins and whatnot. But pangolins are up there as far as endangered and threatened. So,
and why are they being trafficked and targeted?
It's I think a lot of it, it's sad to say, I think a lot of it, whether it's bush meat, things like that, or for their scales, and they're just easy, and they're very docile animals. They just roll up in a ball. They don't fight back, so they're easy to, you know, unfortunately. So I think it's a lot for that. It's a lot for, you know, selling their scales, things like that. They just the traffickers, they just like stuffed things, and you know how they do with the lions and even the rhinos. They cut off the horn and they sell parts of the animal.
Yeah, you know, like poaching, selling, put it on a black market. You know, like, you know, make clothes and all that. So it's like, you know, hey, I got a rhino horn, $1 million. You know, no problem. Here we go, easy money.
Yeah, elephant tusks, ivory. Yeah, I mean, it's been going on for so long, but it's tough because, you know, it's in these countries where let's just say the people that want to make money don't care how they do it. They just say that I got to feed my family, this type of thing. So they do these really awful things because there's always, unfortunately, a demand for it. Somebody's buying it. If nobody was buying it, they wouldn't be doing it. That's how I look at it. I'm like, somebody's buying these things on the
Oh
black.
yeah. So it's easy nowadays. You sell them online, Amazon, eBay, Temu, Capital One Shopping, and everything like that, their own website. It's a lot easier than expected. Even you can sneak them into Walmart as well, too, or Targets, like, kind of just sneak it in a little bit.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I think that's why people don't realize how prevalent it is, even places you went. And not every country has strict regulations. They'll let anything in. Some countries, they don't have any regulations or rules. So it's basically legal in a lot of countries, and Eastern countries too, especially there's not the same type of laws there to protect the animals.
Mm-hmm. And what are some of the other endangered animals that are on the list right now that you know of?
Oh my gosh. I mean, well, off the top of my head, pangolins have been such a thing for us. The other thing I want to work with, I love whales. So like anything with whales, I'm happy to do. And sharks, believe it or not, because
Really, sharks are endangered?
well, no, they've been the finning situation, and where they take them and they cut the fin for the soup. I want to
Oh,
get
really?
involved with that. Yeah, because it's between that and the ghost nets. The ghost nets are another problem with the ocean. I'm just thinking of the ocean in general, because the ocean, if the ocean's not clean, we're all in trouble, basically. The ocean is so important. But yeah, I think doing the film also kind of made me realize how bad this situation is. Like what finning is, finning for shark soup. It's a delicacy in many countries. So it's horrible. They take these sharks and we kill, I was watching Shark Week. I think we kill like a few million sharks per year versus a shark killing just a few people. The amount of millions of sharks every year that are just murdered. And without them, the ecosystem of the ocean is off balance. So it's been a thing for me. It's like, it's a cruel thing. It's, first of all, it's just cruel to do that to any creature, but it's just so unnecessary because it's just like, oh, it's a delicacy. I mean, come on,
I have
that's
never heard of shark soup up until now, and thank God I did not have a pizza. I was just went to the bathroom like that, like shark soup. Oh my gosh, it's like I heard steamed monkeys, or rattlesnake meat, or eating cat in the Philippines. It's like, oh gosh, what's next? So.
I know it's different cultures, and I understand some people that have a different view, but I think at this point we need to evolve further past that. Like that's one thing, maybe in a certain time, but now we have to, now they're, getting really good at growing hydroponically, growing gardens, vertically, doing all these different things that we have to evolve past just being that, like cruelty wise. I'm not saying that everybody has to be a vegan, but there's other ways of, growing food and, procuring food that we can do that's not cruel necessarily like that.
Mhm.
So.
And in fact, you talk about hydroponics and all that. We have an air garden upstairs in above our studio, and we, grow like lettuce, spinach, and just about everything. That's going to be pretty much the way to go these days. The way the climate's going, and of course, as we speak, we're about 95 degrees. Averaging where we live at this time, 95 degrees. I mean, how could you grow in such hot conditions like this?
It's difficult. I mean, I garden, and so a lot of my crops got wiped out from just the heat. I mean, here, especially in this climate, it's very dry. So if you're not watering a lot, and we have a drought here in California, of course, so there's an issue with that, that there's not enough water to keep the garden as moist as you need to sometimes, just for the crops. So it's difficult. I mean, it's tough. Like, yeah, this summer, I had a feeling it was going to be a hot summer because we had such a cold winter. I was like, okay. And winter was so prolonged. So I'm not surprised at all we're dealing with the 95 degrees, but it's difficult. I'm watching friends of mine that like even my friend with a heart condition before, I'm watching people like that struggle in the heat, and it's really scary. I mean, heat like that is not a joke.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And of course, drink plenty of water wherever you can get it, and sustainability and everything like that. And of course, we're doing it right now as we speak right here. So we do got to take a water break as we hear. So we got all that. Cheers. And of course, just one more thing we got to cover. Aura Drone. I'm not sure if we covered it. What's coming up with Aura Drone and more musically for you?
Well, right now, Orodrone itself, I have a couple of songs that I'm mixing and finishing up, but right now, me as an artist, I don't know whether that's Orodrone or not, but just me as Jon, I'm doing some vocals for the film in a soundtrack, and I'm working with a really talented composer who I'm very excited to work with, a Grammy-winning composer. So I'm going to be doing some vocals again with that. So stay tuned. That's kind of a stay tuned thing, but I'm very excited.
And definitely stay tuned. And what else can we expect in 2023 and beyond with all the projects? What else can we expect from you?
Oh my gosh, that's a lot, isn't it?
We got some time. If it's a King Scroll, and if y'all go over and endanger animals, you want to get them involved project, they can sing and all that. That's fine too. So
yeah, no, I would love to. At the end, I'll do it. I'll point them to the website. I'll say go here, whatever, that way they can see. Let's see. We could talk about. Let's see. I spoke about the ranch I'm getting with the animals, and we could talk about that more. What I want to do there is, I guess I'll start on it. I'm procuring land over there with a ranch and working with rehabilitating animals or rescuing. But I also want to involve with the community too, where kids can come and like a petting zoo almost for kids.
nice.
Yeah, I think it'd be nice and just work with youth. Like I know there's a lot of I want to say there's a lot of mental disorder issues and mental illness happening in the world right now. And I think animals are very healing. So I would love to be able to work with people that are depressed or going through, recovery or whatnot, and have them, kids and adults, but a lot focusing on the youth, having them there with the animals. I think it's very healing.
And certainly indeed. And where can we find your works at? Where can we get more information, especially Orodrone, your animal rescue movies and everything like that? Where can we find you in your website at?
Oh, okay. Well, I have a couple of different ones. My main website is official Jon Mack, my name, JONMACK.com. And we have, of course, defendingtheendangered.com. And those are the main two websites right now, but you can always find me on Facebook under Jon Mack, my actress page. Defending the Endangered, we have a page, and also Orodrone has a page. So we have it across the board. I also have a page for I didn't mention this. As a hobby during the pandemic, I started to make dolls, and I make one of the kind art dolls.
Oh, nice.
Yes, so posable, like interesting dolls. So they are also on a website for sale. Everything's for sale. But I also do custom work too. So it's hercandydish.com. So if anyone wants to check that out, if they like dolls or think it's a beautiful gift for someone, they're all one of a kind.
Hercandydish.com. I like that.
Yes. So check it out. They're interesting. They're kind of unique. Each one is unique. So I've had fun with doing that a lot. That's kind of become therapeutic for me. It happened during lockdown. I just started doing it, and I always love to paint, and I always love to make crafts and things. So I did it in a dedication to my mother, who passed away a decade ago, and she collected dolls and she always loved dolls. And she got me into it. And so I started to do it as an homage to her. But it caught on with me. It became very therapeutic and very calming, and just something I do between work and whatnot. So that's my other little creative venture. But I have that. And then if they want to find me on Instagram, they can just find me under itsme_Jon Marie.
That is fantastic. And of course, with Her Candy Dish, that'd be a great gift item coming up around Christmas time. So, of course, Christmas in July. So everybody save up and make sure you buy one. So we got to do that. So amazing. So we're here with Jon Mack, the multi-talented actress, musician, director, producer, and animal crusader here on the Mike Wagner Show with all kinds of updates. Jon, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely amazing. I'm looking forward to having you again soon. And once again, what's your website? How do people contact you? Where can people purchase or check out your works? What's your website again?
Okay, my official website is officialjonmack.com. I forgot to mention earlier, if they want to find us on Spotify, Orodrone is on Spotify. We're on iTunes Music, we're on Apple, we're on all the platforms, Amazon. So they just have to look, just type in Orodrone, AURADRONE, and we should be there. And new music is coming very soon that I will be uploading. So check out the old stuff for now and go back to the, the classics, but very soon we'll have some more music up there as well.
And certainly looking forward to it as well. Once again, Jon, a very big thank you for your time. You're always amazing. Looking forward to having you again soon. Keep us up to date. Keep in touch. Love having you back. Wish you all best. And Jon, you definitely have a great future ahead.
Oh, thanks, Mike. So great to be here. Thank you so much. Look forward to seeing you soon.